One witness I talked to said it was like watching bumper cars last night, and let me show you what he means. Backed up around this basketball hoop and did what witnesses are calling kind of a donut type of thing, and you can see the mud and the tire marks here. From here, it went into the side of the garage, and here you can see all of the damage. There's trees uprooted. To show you just how powerful this was, let's take a look at this apartment that's about 40 feet away from where the other apartment was. You can see that the siding here is totally warped from the heat of the flames. Along this side of the street, all of the houses had their trash collected on Friday. Now it's Wednesday, and if we take a look over at the other side of the street, you can see that several houses were missed and are still waiting for their trash to be collected. Bullets went through this door, into the building's brick, and into neighbors' windows. Lay was in her apartment on the second floor of this building. It's been 667 days since fans have had the opportunity to buy a ticket for every seat in this stadium, but that all changes tonight, and you know what that means. No more zip ties on seats, and there still hasn't been any sign of movement from the man inside of this gray house behind me. Now let me hop behind the camera and zoom in to show you guys the scene. We aren't sure exactly where in the house he's located, who say that she was leaving this house right over here around 9 p.m. last night. She was with two other people trying to cross the street to get to where their car was in the Park Center lot when she was hit. 4-year-old Lenny is celebrating 2 victories, his birthday and his last day of chemotherapy. Simply clean off your windshield wiper, and all you need is a paper towel. You're just going to wipe it like this in the direction of the blade. Would you like to start your day by drinking from a WANE 15 mug? Let's give it a try.
Yep, so...
And be prepared to get a little wet. And they like to eat hair. Marijuana dispensaries I talked to say more than half of their customers are from Indiana. Driving north past Angola on I-69, it's hard to miss all of the billboards advertising marijuana dispensaries just over the state border in Michigan.
Oh, well, welcome to the green side of things.
Michigan legalized recreational marijuana in 2018, with the first stores opening about a year later. It's a ruling Hoosiers are certainly capitalizing on.
There's a lot of people that are coming to the area for that.
Well, I want to say about 60% of the people that we see are coming from Indiana.
Usually they try to purchase their max amount that they can.
And it's perfectly legal as long as they don't bring what they buy back to Indiana, because possession of any amount of marijuana in the Hoosier state is a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 180 days in jail and a fine.
So they come here.
Which isn't the worst thing for Michigan's dispensaries.
At this moment, it does benefit us that they do not have it legal.
Or the Wolverine state's economy.
If they're in this one area, they're going to be able to stop off and get some food. They're going to go ahead and put money back into this town as well, too.
We've had people who have made it like a special treat. They come up for like a date night or something, a couple, and they grab a hotel in the area. So that's just things that, help benefit every business.
But Brittany Martin says her Hoosier customers would rather support their home state.
They really go on about how they wish that they had it legal in their own town, or so they could put that money back there.
A bill to legalize marijuana and establish a cannabis regulatory agency in Indiana is currently under review in the House Committee on Courts and Criminal Code. Natalie Clydesdale, WANE 15 News. Few things feel as powerless as not being able to help your sick child.
I never felt like one of my children I may not see them the next day.
A terrifying reality.
She would have died, there's no question about it.
I got my driver's license and I was like, here we go. I'm so happy. I was on top of the world.
16 years old. So sweet for Sarah Faley, till it was suddenly disrupted by a seizure. A mass was in her brain and it was bleeding.
Next thing I remember is the doctor coming in and telling me that my brain was bleeding, and I was like, oh, okay.
Brain surgery was scheduled for a month later at Peyton Manning's Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. The night before the procedure, Sarah and her parents sat anxiously in a nearby hotel room. Nerves became panic when an unbearable headache consumed her.
It just got worse and worse. Every minute it was getting really bad that I was just sitting on my bed. Again, I was just rocking back and forth, like feeling my head. I just knew that something was wrong.
What she didn't know was the mass in her brain had essentially exploded and she had 45 minutes to live. The pain agonizing, tears filling her eyes.
And I looked at my husband and I said, we're leaving right now. Right now. And they trusted me. They were like, okay, here we go.
And a race to Dr. Jody Smith, who would lead the emergency operation against the out-of-control mass.
It was herniating, it was compressing her third cranial nerve, and she had a dilated pupil that was fixed. And so that, when that starts to happen, you know that they're going to die. You need to act very quickly.
Then the longest 7 hours of Christy Edwards' life, not knowing if her daughter would survive.
There went my kid. I mean, there she went. I may never see her again. According to the previous doctors, she may not talk again. She may not be able to go back to high school. We also knew that if Sarah did not make it, she was going to be with Jesus. And that was really important to me too, that that's where she was going to be.
But her prayers and Dr. Smith's heroics prevailed.
It's just like, and then of course I have to get on my knees and thank my Heavenly Father for helping me.
Pulled from the brink of death into a full recovery, Sarah is filled with gratitude.
I just went through one of the most traumatic experiences and one of the most critical experiences one could face, but it happened. And here I am now, fully functional. I can talk, I can walk, I can run.
Burying a child is every parent's worst nightmare. In 2008, it's something a Fort Wayne woman had to do after she lost her son who reached for his cell phone while driving. Her family's heartbreak is something she hopes can serve as a powerful warning to the rest of us.
I felt like my heart, like a piece of me had taken flight. The pain was so indescribable. So Rodney had left home to go pick up a friend. We were gonna watch movies. He said, "Mom, I love you." I said, "I love you too, see you when you get back."
Those were the last words she'd say to her son. It was an October night. Rodney Thompson was making this turn on the west side of Fort Wayne when he reached over to pick up his phone. He lost control and died instantly.
He's my oldest child, and my only child for 10 years. I was just senior in high school, about to embark on so many things in life.
Unfortunately, tragedies like this happen far too often.
It's extremely frustrating. It's heartbreaking for the families that are involved, that are affected by a fatal crash like that, especially when we know that it could easily have been prevented.
Which is why Rodney's mom, Davita, along with police, are doing all they can to prevent another family from feeling this heartbreak. While she's been a longtime advocate for a hands-free driving law, Indiana police only began enforcing one last summer.
We're looking for head down, paying attention to the lap, paying attention to this area over here. And if I wanted to stop people for cell phone violations only, I could fill a couple ticket books in a matter of a couple hours.
Despite the new law, they're still catching distracted drivers regularly. So far, more than 1,000 Hoosiers have been pulled over for using their phones while driving.
Yep, so just that easy. So I notice you're sitting here on your cell phone. Do you have your driver's license on you?
Davida plays her part in this mission through her organization, STAND.
So stop texting and driving distracted. When my son died for such a unnecessary reason, I said I didn't want his death to be in vain, and so it just pressed upon my heart to raise awareness against texting and driving distracted. I love you. His spirit lives with us. I mean, look at that smile. It's priceless.
Sergeant Walker says if you need to have your phone out while driving, the best place for it is a mount. Even with that, the only time you should be using your phone is if you're at a stoplight. Natalie Clydesdale, WANE 15 News.